You sure?
Yeah.
I think we should.
No, thank you.
All right. We're live.
All right, we're live.
Yes.
How
sir.
loud could that be?
Yeah.
I can't go as loud as you.
We're live.
That's right. All right. So, what's up, everyone? We have Nick Krim here. We have Elizabeth Austin, and Nick and I have been talking a lot about some troubling things that we have seen in the industry, and it's been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
And and we want to start shedding some light. So we're going to start running a series here on people that have been, unfortunately, maybe in like this one-sided relationship on a team. This maybe they had a parasitic team leader, or they were at a brokerage that held them hostage because they had a different commission split if they were to leave and close out their deals. And so we really want to highlight this and bring awareness. So one, we make real estate fun again, and we make the real estate industry a better place.
Well, I think that's the biggest thing that it comes down to too, is just highlighting a wrong that's been going on in real estate. I mean, since as far as I've been in real estate, which I know has been the longest, and I keep talking to more and more people, they're like, that's just the way it was. And they thought, I know a lot of people that I talked to, like, man, I was just in the worst of a bad situation. And they think that's just the way real estate has to be because they hear these horror stories time and time again.
Yeah.
I think it's time we bring it to light.
Yeah, 100%. So Elizabeth Austin is on the Good Home team, and hopefully
very one-sided.
Hopefully that
all we do is help Elizabeth.
Hopefully we're not bringing to light what the Good Home team is, which obviously she's been with us for 6 years,
right?
And I don't think she would stay in this relationship if it was not a good one. But she was on a team previously, and I was talking to her about this. She's like, "I'll share my story."
Yeah.
So kind of explain, Elizabeth, when you first joined the business and you had joined a team. First off, why did you join that team? What was going through your head? And was there promises that were made, or was there, any hype that was passed on to you that, obviously wasn't true?
Right.
Sure. So joining this team was within the first month of me getting licensed. And pretty much what got me is I'm super competitive, very money motivated. And I'd pretty much gone through all of my savings while going through real estate school because it wasn't much, and moving down here. And so I saw a post at our old brokerage for someone looking for a buyer's agent where you would make a minimum of six figures. And really, they thought that you could probably make about $150,000 on their team. So being money motivated, I'm like, hell yes, I can learn from someone. They're going to guide me through this. I'm going to figure out how to start working with these clients, and I'm going to get clients right away, because I was that agent. When I went into that office, they were like, what are you going to do to lead generate? And I said, what does that mean?
Right.
So I got started with her pretty quickly. And it was a team where there was a lead agent, and then there was some like administrative help. And so I would be the first leverage in the form of an agent coming onto the team. And it wasn't what I expected. There were leads that were there to be worked with, but there was a lot of unsaid expectations. Let's talk about that. Nothing that was in writing. So I would get emails and text at 5 a.m. with expectation to respond, and then being like, I'm sending you this lead right now, or where are we at with this lead? And that was another thing.
Yeah.
This person was absolutely ready for leverage. They weren't ready for leverage in the form of another agent to actually come on and work the business. Their business was very heavy sphere, very heavy relationship. So it was very nerve-wracking for them. And this is not lost on me that it's tough, but it was very nerve-wracking for them to trust those relationships with someone else. So it was micromanaging. They wanted to be CC'd on every email that I was possibly sending. And then I would say that I'm totally the agent. Both of y'all will know where I'm going to say, you've got a phone number, an email, and like, you're good. It's a good lead.
Right.
But that was not an expectation. The expectation was I was warm handoffs. I have so much business I can't handle. I'm literally handing it to you. And it wasn't that. It was still internet leads, which I'm actually really great at working, but not at 5 a.m.
Right. So I think it's important too, like coming into this, like you're just coming into the real estate industry. How excited were you? And were you this ambitious? Like, cause I know how you are now. You're you're going at it. You know, like, would you say you're this ambitious, this ready to go coming into it?
Since day one,
Since day
100%.
one.
Since
So
day
it's not
one,
like you're coming in like as like a lazy agent, not wanting to do work. You came in excited, ready to go, ready to get work that was promised to you.
100%. No, work
Yeah.
ethic has not been an issue for me since the time I got my first job. So I
Right.
was ready to go. Like I said, money motivated. I needed
Yeah.
that guidance of what to do. And I was kind of actually there was no physical office, and there doesn't need to be, but there wasn't
Right.
at that time the same technology connecting everyone
Right.
that we even have today. So it would just be sometimes texted calls, and maybe occasionally we'd get together for a lunch. I'm going to say all of that. Y'all should know I was on this team for 2 weeks because I was like, F this. And I quit. And I quit while the lead agent was on vacation.
Oh, is that right?
So
I couldn't stay.
So when you first joined, I want to go back to that feeling,
Yeah.
that experience that you had when you first were joining. How did you feel when you made first that commitment to joining the team, and then kind of walk us through during those 2 weeks, you know how quickly your mindset eroded, and what was that deciding factor to say, you know what, I'm ready to, I need to leave this situation.
Okay, so good question. You know, your body doesn't remember pain, so I'll see if I can remember it as correctly as possible. But I was super excited when I first saw the opportunity to be a part of that growing team, and then even within my first meeting with that team leader, I guess let's call him, very, very excited because I'm sitting here thinking that there's just all of this possibility ahead of me. I'm not afraid of hard work, but this person knew I was licensed for a month. So knowing what to really do, I would need someone that was accessible to me, or some sort of training. The only training that we had at the time really was the brokerage, which was kind of crap, honestly. So very quickly, my mindset started to erode away. I would say within that first within that first week, I started to realize this isn't for me. And it was because I was getting those text messages at 5:30 in the morning. I was asking to be CC'd on every email. I mean, Nick can tell you, like, I cannot be micromanaged. It's terrible. Nothing will make me just feel more tied down or constrained. I just can't do it. I can't. But I started to question myself. Logic will ultimately always prevail for me. And I'm like, is this uncomfort just because this is new and you're not used to it and you need to adjust and you need to stick it out? And the reality was that person was not ready for leverage in the form of an agent, and that was not the team for me.
Well, and I think that goes into too, like, I also understand people in the real estate industry are growing themselves. You know, when you join a team, and especially when you're brand new, you look at some of these people who boast about these numbers and you think, man, they must know fucking everything. They must know everything out there on the planet. But at the same time too, you know, knowing that 87% of agents fail within this first year. Let me ask you this, Elizabeth. After that 2 weeks, did any part of you want to just say, screw real estate, I'm not doing this?
No, not at all.
No, not at all?
Not at all. What I almost did was,
so
then I went solo, and then I did absolutely nothing for the next 5 months. And that still didn't have me say real estate's not for me, but I started to question where I was at. And then that was actually when I had heard about Nick and the Good Home team from someone else who was on the team while we were going through that like new agent training at this brokerage. And I'm thinking, hell no, do I want to be on another team? Clearly they're all going to be like that. But then I heard Nick, his brother Austin was on it, Josh Shang, Seychelles Van Place, Tim Heil was there. There's this mastermind that was changing for me. And it made me realize the actions I was lacking. So I still actually wasn't looking for the team. It started me like to figure out getting a dialer or how to call leads or everything. Cause I was that agent doing everything that's not important. That's like, go work on that marketing and that social media for no one to present to. And I knew I wasn't doing what I needed to do then. I was just so lost as to how to even go about it. And I was in a new city. It was just all very, very uncomfortable for me at that time. Now I'm not as uncomfortable going after the uncomfortable. But then I reached out on a Facebook post for a freaking $10 an hour part-time job because mama had gone through her savings.
Oh, shit.
I connected with AG and we talked over Facebook Messenger. And I was like kind of a bitch, honestly. I was like, are you going to make me do this? And are you going to do that?
And then they answer the phone at 5 a.m.
He was like, it's really not like a big deal. And then finally he was like, this just doesn't make sense to me why you want to be a $10 an hour caller.
Right.
Really, I wanted to be a sponge and soak up what they were saying, how they were saying, who they were calling. And I truly have enough of a moral compass to like not double dip and try to just poach or steal their leads or anything. But I just wanted to be a sponge and go do it myself. And then I ended up joining. Here's the thing too. There really wasn't that much training or support when I first joined the team. I created it all, but I had enough. I had a computer with leads in front of it that I knew I need to call and I need to convince these people to meet with me. That was easily it for the first 3 to 4 months of me being on the team. And then we started once a week meetings where I still held myself accountable and set my own goals and these high numbers. And I hit them to not let myself down, but also not lose face in front of Nick and Austin. So
let's go back to you leaving that other team. Where was your spirits and where was your mindset as you were again deciding to leave? Let's go back to that pain point.
The spirits were low, but actually I was very steadfast in what I knew. I knew I could not be in that kind of environment, and I wouldn't thrive there. And so I was super determined of how can I go and do this on my own? At that point, that determination just resumed with continuing that new agent training and trying to absorb that to figure it out. I just didn't realize how lackluster that really is. And how, not even lackluster, that's not the right word, but how not super tangible and like actionable it is.
Well, I think that comes back to a lot of things too about like, again, coming into the industry, you know, I think a lot of agents are promised a lot of things coming into this industry about the life that you can live, what it's really like. And let's be real. If you sit down with agents who've been in the industry over 10 years and say, when's the last time you took a vacation and didn't look at your phone? How many hands in the room do you think would go up out of 100?
Like,
I'm asking you this. If you had to give a number to it, Elizabeth, out of 100 agents, if I asked the room, agents that have been in the business at least 10 years, that's in, when's the last time you took a vacation and didn't look at your phone?
I'll give you like 1% of them.
1%. Yeah. And you know, and that's why like coming into this, you know, I see these ads all the time, like join an industry where you can make your own hours, you can do what you want, and you don't have to worry about somebody micromanaging you. And there's all of these things that go into it. And the reality of it is that's just not the case. And when you're sold something like that, no wonder 87% of people fail and just do not come back.
Well, and I was really, we'll call it lucky. But since I was only there for 2 weeks, leaving was easy. Right. However, leaving is not always that easy once you're somewhere longer. You know, I'm working with someone right now who's actually working on coming over. And one thing that a lot of us as agents don't do is we're so excited, we're so gung-ho, so we don't look at like, if we don't want to be here in the future, if I ever want to make a change, what does that look like to possibly get out of this relationship? No one looks at that. So all of a sudden, I have an agent who is dropping to, it would be 50-50 splits for anything that's pending. It's not even like just let it finish out and close out here like a lot of brokerage. 50-50 splits for an independent solo agent. Yeah.
Independent solo agent.
Which is millions pending.
So let me ask you, why do you think, let's go to teams first and then solo agents second. Why do you think that someone who is in this one-sided, not a winning relationship, why do you think team members stay and not just leave?
When they're in the one-sided relationship?
Yeah. Right. When they're on that parasitic team.
Well, I think the first thing is, do they know they're in it yet? And are they staying?
Great question. Yeah.
Right. Do they know? And if they're staying, right? Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I think that's totally step one. You don't fully know that you're in it because you don't know what you don't know. And there is a lot of false promises that really are promised up front that you're not going to learn until you get in there. I think the other one is you're essentially golden hand. And that's not even golden handcuffs because that would be a good situation.
Right.
You're just handcuffed.
I like the golden ones.
Yeah. You're just handcuffed.
Do you believe that team members and even maybe independent solo agents at brokerages think that it is what it is, and this is the way real estate works, and it's going to be the same or maybe even worse somewhere else?
They may. They may think that. I don't think that's the bigger factor. I think the bigger factor is people can't look short. Like they can't look at delayed gratification. So they're sitting here and they can't look at, let me take the hit right now to put myself in a better position. So rather than taking what is possibly a financial hit because of like the reduction on commission, then I'm going to not take this right now. I'm never going to be able to leave this opportunity unless I have no business. And that's not a goal of mine either.
Yes.
So
I think you nailed it right there too. Cause I was talking with another agent too that talks about this. Like, why would you wait till you have no business and you're financially strapped to make this huge move? Because here's the roller coaster that you go on. When you have a lot of business and you look at the split, you're like, man, I can't leave if they're going to hold me to this split.
Right.
But then when you have no business, it's like, well, I can't leave and then bypass all this time without business. So that's where I think the handcuffs that you're talking about with is where if a team gets you on these crazy splits, where if you leave with all this business on the table, you're going to lose this much money. You're not going to leave at that point, and you're not going to leave when you have no business. So when the hell are you going to leave?
The reality is this can go for team members or solo members because it doesn't have to be your team who's saying this. Actually, in fact, I see this be more of an issue at the brokerage level than I do the team level because most teams that I've come in contact with, which is a ton in 7 years now, is like my splits are the splits if I'm leaving or if not. It's just whatever is pending with you is closing out with you. But where I see the biggest thing is with the brokerages where I see that reduction. And we see that across multiple brokerages. It's not even, I can't even just pinpoint one.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask you really quick. I mean, what do you see from agents that are in teams that are a part of a team that maybe the team leader cherry picks deals? Is that more common amongst teams?
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely, as long as that team leader, not as long, because I don't want to say it across the board blanket statement, but when that team leader's in production, it's definitely something someone should ask if they're interviewing different teams, because some of the largest teams that we know still do that today, unfortunately.
And I think a big thing too is, we always talk about Albie, my mentor Albie always says, like, it's not about how you come in, it's about how you leave, is how you see people's real character and core values. All these teams say, we want you to win. We're with you no matter what and with your business. The moment you try and leave, all of a sudden we're keeping your mom in our database. Yeah. We're keeping your family, all of those things. You can't even take them outside of it. And then, like you said too, with the split. So I think that's where you really start to realize, are these people my business partners and want me to win? Or are they my people that are my parasite team leads and brokers who are leeching off me until I decide to leave for the betterment of myself? And then all of a sudden that parasite latches on even more.
And literally using you like monkey dance, honestly.
Yeah. And unfortunately that shouldn't be the way the industry is.
No.
And what should new agents and agents that are looking to join a team to increase their business, what should they look for? What would be a couple of items that they should look for when interviewing and deciphering what a good team is and maybe what a parasitic team would be?
I would look at how long the team has been in business first and foremost. If you're going with someone brand new, that could be really messy, really lacking training or education or systems or leads, anything like that. I would look at the longevity of the agents that they have on the team, because I think that speaks volumes. I think it's really easy for a new agent, especially if you haven't produced yet, to just see things and it feels like they're going to come from a scarcity mindset. But if they can look at people who are living abundant lives and have abundant businesses on these teams, I think that's really, really huge. And then I would also ask around maybe about the reputation of that team in the area, but listen to how they ask questions and what they say and what they how they value, because how they value their agents, how they give back to the agents that are on the team. I think that'll tell you a lot.
So I think something else you can do too is something I would do is ask agents who have left the team how their experience was leaving. Because look, you're going to get some people who are just going to be highly emotional, right? Yeah. But if you find the right people who will give you a great answer, I know people who have left teams that have nothing but great things to say about the organization, about the way it was handled when they left, and they'll just tell you look, it wasn't a good fit for me. But then there's also the people that can tell you those back end horror stories. When I left, they kept all my business. They wouldn't let me take any of it.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth, let me ask you this. What are some red flags you should look for? What are some red flags that when you see that, turn and run when you're looking at different brokerages and different teams that you should be interviewing?
Oh, good question. Oh man, on the spot. There's so many.
Oh, on the spot. All right,
I'm actually,
let's
I'm
top
really
three.
bad
Top
at
three.
noticing red flags.
That is true. Yes.
That-
Yes.
I
Well,
feel like from the
I have a
outside.
friend of mine, Nick, and I'm
Look,
like, Nick, do
from
you
the
see red
outside
flags?
looking in, these aren't red flags that you see. Somebody, I'm sure you could spot other
Well,
people's red
number
flags.
one, Elizabeth, you and I talk about
Yeah.
this all the time. And number one is if an individual solo agent joining a brokerage,
Yeah.
they need to look at their independent contractor agreement
Really look at it.
and
Yes.
understand and ask the question of if I were to leave
Yeah.
and I have pending contracts,
Yep.
sellers and buyers that need to close, does my commission split remain the same, or does my commission split decrease?
Yeah.
What happens if we were to break up?
Yeah.
And Elizabeth and I talk about this all the time. The frustrating part is we talk to a lot of agents that do want to leave their brokerage but feel held hostage, and they knew about that clause, but they didn't have enough foresight at the time to think about the pain of leaving
and how much business I'm sure they would eventually have too that would get wrapped up in that smaller commission cost as well.
What other items?
100%.
Yeah, what other items, Elizabeth? Because again, you've talked to. I mean, you pretty much still, and you have and still pretty much do run the Good Home team. I mean, you talk to a lot of agents that are in at times what we call one-sided abusive relationships in the real estate industry. So, is there anything else that kind of sticks and stands out?
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be if let's talk about a team, for instance. If I'm a agent looking to join a team, it's also still going to be, what is that team providing back to me? Because there are teams with expectations of you just going ahead and providing everyone that you already know, everything in your database. And then once you start working, you have to close that business before you get anything from the team, even an opportunity to try to start prospecting team leads. And then I'm expected to split the commission of that. And I don't hate that if there is support and we're running events and we're marketing to them and you're helping me maybe even call my specific leads. Like, there are ways that can be a win. Most of the time, the way it's done, I wouldn't say it's a win. I'm not joining a team so I can call who I already have and could do on my own, but I don't want to negate what accountability and training can do. But a lot of them may not have, hey, here's daily training. Hey, here's scripts. Hey, here's strategies. I'm a mentor at the company that I'm with. And when I get a mentee, I'm like, let me tell you real quick, this is what I'll do for you. And you tell me if this is a good fit. And it's like, you do not come to me about how to set up your CRM. That's some bullshit stuff right now. I'm going to teach you how to go after and get buyers and sellers, how you work with them once you've got them, how you convert them, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. And it sounds like something you were talking about the other day too. It sounds like hazing.
Yes.
Like right when somebody joins, through that period of give me your entire database, we get to keep it. We still take your splits until you get anything that we can do. So talk to me a little bit more about that hazing that you were referring to.
Well, I mean, gosh, it really should be reciprocal because they're not going to have their team without the agents. And when you're not giving someone even access to training or to systems or even a plan of how to work those extra marketing, that's when it does become one-sided. And I think agents need to remember to have gratitude for the teams that they're a part of, but it is vice versa. And the hard part, it can be really hard being on a team because you're not going to get a lot of your credit immediately goes to the team leader. Nick's gotten a shit ton of mine, but I also probably get some of his,
Yeah.
But,
look, do I not do a good job of giving you credit? Hold on. Hold on.
All right. Oh, shit. What do we got here? Hey, we got to take Nick off the podcast. So Elizabeth, tell me, tell me how you really feel.
Obviously, I'm happy because I've been here for almost 7 years.
Right.
And let me ask you, Elizabeth, a lot of these experiences that you speak of and that we can speak of, on this, I'm not gonna give you credit on this one, Elizabeth, because you don't want this credit. Is that I fell into that trap. I was that unknowingly that parasitic team leader.
Right.
When first starting the Good Home team, it was one-sided. We had the redheaded stepchild room is what we called it, where actually Elizabeth just said it. We would have all of our agents. I wouldn't even learn their names.
Y'all, I didn't even meet Nick until I'd been on the team for 2 weeks in office every single day. And then he popped his head in and was like, "Hi."
How much of that was because that's the way it was done? And I'm sure having coaches and mentors from other people, you're like, this is just the way real estate is.
That's the way it was taught, and unfortunately still being taught today. And we had it where our agents could only work buyer deals, not seller deals. And on if they had a buyer that was selling, they would have to refer it back to me, and they weren't paid on the listing side. We had zero training, zero support, zero accountability. And for the longest time, it was a revolving door. The longevity wasn't really there. And the ones that stayed a while, in the beginning, it was because they were being fed leads and they just didn't know any better. Right. It like you said, it is what it is.
Not know better.
It is what it is.
Well, and I will give it to his credit. It really was the whole model that was being pushed down our throats by the people we thought knew better. And I would say we're all lucky that like both Nick and I are pretty self-aware people. And the moment that it changed for him was when he and his wife got pregnant with their son. And he was like, "Oh shit! Like I don't want to have to."
Not all shit in a bad way.
I mean about the business.
Hey,
not
we're pulling clips here now.
No, I meant about the business, not the baby.
Right.
But it was just that realization of things are going to have to change to get people to stay in our organization. And that was what started it. At first, it was still kind of selfish. It was, I don't want to work every day when I have this new baby. But that's what spurred it to change. And then it really has shifted into, I want these people who are in my world to be successful and I care about them. That wasn't an overnight mindset by any means, but it was definitely an evolution that has greatly changed from when I first joined the team.
Yeah.
So you're welcome for those words of affirmation.
Thank you.
Wow.
And
we'll
a lot of
that as a testimonial.
Yes.
Later.
And a lot of the credit goes to Elizabeth for pushing, right? So for pushing and wanting us to rise above. And not just do better for ourselves, but do better for her at the time and now for our people. I mean, even on our team training, our team meeting call today,
right?
I mean, you were in there, Nick, and Elizabeth can attest to this. At the end of this, I told them I wanted my agents to make a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, that's right. That's a direct quote.
It is
direct quote,
100%. And I said, look, I want you guys to make as much money as you possibly can, because we're in this together. If our agents are winning, the team and company is winning.
I agree. I don't sleep as well at night if I think that they're not making money, even when sometimes it's their own actions that are stopping them. That still like eats me alive.
Yeah, you can finish your thought. Yeah.
Sorry.
I think I'm finished on that.
So I think it's also comes down to like like a false sense of loyalty for no other reason besides that person lets you join their team, as if because I think a lot of times too, like when you come into this, you don't know you're being recruited. You think somebody's reaching out to you with a job opportunity that you think you'd be perfect for, and you're so grateful for this opportunity. And then you stay there because you think, man, this person would never do me wrong. I have a lawyer. They brought me into the business. They taught me everything I know. But yet, I think a lot of times too, those same parasite team leads and brokers don't want you to go other people's training, other people's coaching, because they talk them down. When in reality, they've taught you the wrong things, brought you into a bad business model where they're the only ones winning. So they literally just don't know better. So how many of those? Oh yeah, let's see it. Let's go.
But this is actually an awareness that the individual joining a team or a brokerage needs to have.
Yeah.
So Nick and I can speak to this directly. We have had a ton of people not join us because they said that they were intimidated by us, but intimidated because we would work every day. We would be on the phones. We would prospect, pretty much like we were going to.
Like you guys actually used your career out of this.
Yeah. We're going to hold you accountable to do the right actions in order to do this. So then they would join teams that maybe didn't have as much production, accolades, volume, whatever, success for their agents, but because it seemed scary to join us, and that was always lost on us because we're like, why? And they would say, but you're like the team that I would want to be, or you're the agent that I would want to be.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, but if there's the opportunity to be here, and there was, I'm so confused, but it's because people went with what was comfortable. And I think that people probably choose brokerages like that as well.
Yeah, and I think that's always it's coming back to one of the age-old things about your coach. Like the moment your coach stops talking to you about what you're doing wrong is the moment he stops caring about you
Yes.
too. Because like, look, one of our people we talk about is accountability is the highest form of love. If I really love you and want you to do good in your business, I'm not going to tell you it's perfectly fine. If you tell me you want to make this much money and you want to sell this many homes, I'm not going to say it's okay if you miss all the trainings, if you miss all the coachings, and you miss all the things.
100%. I mean, we sit there and you know, when we do our one-on-ones,
Yeah.
And when we were doing them at even a higher level, you know, you can start weeding out the ones that are going to make the excuses. So, you know, that's why we look for in ours, we look for, you know, different characteristic traits of, you know, being a go-getter. So being goal-oriented and someone who's going to push through even when, you know, there's adversity there, even though when there's some friction and it's not 100% going your way. And, you know, another thing that I would look at when, you know, joining a team, or if you're on a team and you don't feel, or maybe you haven't realized that it's actually not the best team for you, is that they're not training you and coaching you on how to put yourself, your business, your family in the best position to win. You know, not just financially, but also within the work-life balance of everything.
I want you to go a little deeper on that too, because I think that's huge as far as like, you know, at the end of the day, this is to support most of the time a family, so many other things than just ourselves. So go a little deeper on like the importance of being able to set people up for success, whether they're with you or not. Because that's something we talked about the other day. Yeah.
We just talked about this like a week ago, where it was just some random conversation Nick and I were having. And we talked about something his brother used to say, which would be like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I just dreamed my whole life of being a real estate agent.
On
like
the Get Home
some
team.
people probably maybe say that, but like not a ton. You probably don't, but you do dream of the life that it can create. And so you've got to make sure you are putting yourself in alignment with people who can help you get there, and they can probably help you get there because they're either on their way of achieving it, or they've already achieved some level of success that you have. But this is where it comes back to reciprocal, because we were talking about one-sided relationships earlier and maybe the team not being a great fit. But let me bring it back to the agent who's joining the team. If they have taken the time to create all this training, to be accessible to you, to do these weekly coaching calls, whatever that looks like, and you don't take advantage of it, that's not on them.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Let that say that again.
Let that sink in.
Let that sink in and say it again.
I'm so frustrated of hearing that, whether it's within our network or within the team or from other team relationships that I have. If we can give you everything to drive the car, you have to drive the car. Like this whole team and any brokerage should be here to shortcut your I guess process to success, but they're not here to replace and do the hard work for you.
So I think something you said the other day, which really stuck with me too, is like, we're going to train you and coach you so well that you could leave and run your own team, but we're going to treat you so well that you're going to stay.
Yeah. And I will tell you that I got that from Elizabeth.
Yeah, really.
Right. That's 100% Elizabeth.
Nice.
And
I recognize those words.
Yeah. And so that
I saw you sit back when I said that. Like, so, where's the it's coming?
Yeah,
it's coming.
And look, and Elizabeth, when she joined us, she told us her intentions were to leave us. And I said, okay. So do it. So do everything. Yeah. Like here's the entire playbook. And that's something that should be talked about.
Ish. He actually didn't fully say that. He said, what if I can show you a way to build a team within the team, blah, 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 all that stuff. But it still worked. It was still, that's flexibility that needs to be stated. That was immediately trying to come up with a solution to find a win-win for both parties, even though I wasn't leaving in that moment. I said, I intend to leave you in a year.
Yeah.
And here I am 7 years later. Rather than everyone should have these systems and these processes, I think that's great. But when it is micromanaged so hard that people can't succeed any other way, you're totally limiting yourself.
Wow.
This is great.
Greatness.
Yeah. Elizabeth, where can people, if agents are wanting to reach out to you and to us and learn more about the Good Home Team, right? Because I'm a believer that I believe that that agents should join a team after interviewing the other team members.
Yeah.
And the agents on that team should be rewarded for bringing on team members that are like-minded, that of culture and that want to win.
Yeah.
So where could potential agents reach out to you? Where could maybe they're on a team and they're not happy? Maybe they're at a brokerage and they're definitely not happy. And they're like, all right, in order for my business to start going to that next level, like yours, I mean, you absolutely crush it every single year, and you've been doing so for the past 6-7 years. Why wouldn't
There you go.
why wouldn't someone want to be in partnership with you and the Good Home Team? Where can they reach out to you?
Yep.
On social media, you can find me at either Elizabeth Austin or the Elizabeth Austin. Someone clearly stole my name. Or you can do elizabethaustin.work.
There you go.
What about the Nate Fisher?
It's actually the Nat Fisher.
The Nat
Is it
Fisher.
really?
No.
No, we've got
so
it.
mad.
We've got a good funny story on that
Do
one.
you?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I'll save it for when he's on.
yeah, we'll make sure to bring
that
Nate
reminds me. I remember my one buddy. A quick story here. My one buddy in high school came in, and we're from Cleveland, and he got Cleveland tattooed on his chest. Huge. He forgot an E. I'm like, dog.
All right, that's like my Xbox name.
All right, is it?
My Xbox.
Wait, what is this?
Yeah, hold on. So my Xbox name was, it meant to say what had happened was, I was gonna have the screen name of Satan Good Dog.
Satan Good Dog.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I spelled it Satin.
Satan Good Dog.
And
The whole difference.
yeah,
It's a whole different use.
and I still rock it today.
You still rock it.
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Satin Good Dog.
So yes, I do.
Hey,
So
man. So everyone go follow Satin Good Dog too.
no,
don't do that.
Just
Don't do
go
that.
go follow the
Yeah.
Elizabeth Austin.
The Elizabeth Austin.
Reach out to Elizabeth and just chat. I mean, she will tell you the good, the bad, the ugly of what the Good Home Team is all about, how the Good Home Team can help agents get into production. I will tell you, because I'm the one who's directing it, that we've got some cool things in order for our agents to take their unfair share of the market. Where the Good Home Team is doing a lot of cool things to help our agents attack the inventory shortage that's going on. We're launching new programs that will help put our agents in the best position to win. And if our agents are winning, then guess what? The company wins.
Boom. I like it. All right, guys. Appreciate you coming on, Elizabeth.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.